What's up, everyone? 2026 is looking like a massive year for anime, but instead of the usual high-stakes shonen, I want to focus purely on the romance side of things. There are a ton of new adaptations dropping throughout the year. Some are grounded school dramas, others are complete fantasy, and a few are just flat-out weird. I've put together a list of 14 upcoming romance titles you should definitely have on your radar. Let's get into it.
First up is Barbarian's Bride. This is a fantasy romance that follows Seraphina, the strongest knight in the West. She's captured during a war and handed over to the barbarian King Veor as a bride. She expects a life of misery, but it turns out the king is actually a refined, handsome guy who genuinely wants to woo her rather than treat her like a prisoner. It's a classic enemies to lovers setup in a fantasy world, and watching a hardened knight try to deal with a king who's actually a gentleman is a pretty fun dynamic.
Next is I Made Friends with the Second Prettiest Girl in My Class. This one is a very chill, introverted romance. Maki is a loner who spends his time watching B-movies and playing games, but he unexpectedly hits it off with Umi, a popular girl known as the second prettiest in class. They realize they share the same nerdy hobbies, but because Umi has a cool girl reputation to maintain, they agree to keep their friendship a secret. It's a sweet story about two people finding a safe space in each other where they don't have to act for anyone else.
At number 12, we have Gals Can't Be Kind to Otaku. Takuya is a quiet otaku who sits behind two gals in class, Ijichi and Amane. He assumes they live in a different world, but after a small interaction involving a borrowed eraser, he accidentally reveals his obsession with a specific anime. Surprisingly, Amane calls him out on a detail, revealing she's actually a closeted geek herself. The story focuses on their growing friendship as they bond over their shared interests, while trying to navigate the social hierarchy of high school.
Number 11 is I Want to End This Love Game. This follows childhood friends Yukiya and Miku who have played a game since they were kids where they try to make each other blush by saying I love you. Now that they're in high school, they've both fallen for each other for real, but they're too stubborn to lose the game. It's a constant battle of romantic one-upmanship where they use shoujo manga tropes and accidental physical closeness to try and force a real confession out of the other.
Coming in at 10 is Mistress Kanan is Devilishly Easy. Kanan is a demon who goes undercover at a human high school to devour souls. She targets a specific guy named Yuji, but when she tries to trap him, he completely misinterprets her advances as a confession and agrees to date her. Kanan, who has zero experience with human emotions, ends up getting completely flustered by the very person she was supposed to be hunting. It's a high-energy rom-com about a scary demon who is actually just a pure-hearted klutz.
Number 9 is Yowa Sensei. This one is a teacher-student romance that focuses on Hiyori, a new teacher who looks intimidating but is actually weak in every sense. She has zero stamina, a tiny voice, and severe stage fright. One of her students, Abekura, discovers her secret and decides to support her so she doesn't get run over by the rest of the class. It's a healing-style romance where the two support each other through their various anxieties and clumsy mishaps.
And number 8, we have An Observation Log of My Fiancée Who Calls Herself a Villainess. This is a refreshing take on the villainous trope. It's told from the perspective of Prince Cecil, a genius who finds the world incredibly boring until he meets his fiancée, Bertia. She claims she's a reincarnated villainess and spends all her time trying and failing to be evil so Cecil can have a happy ending with the heroine. Cecil finds her antics hilarious and slowly falls for her because she's actually the kindest, most chaotic person in his life.
Number 7 is The Klutzy Class Monitor and the Girl with the Short Skirt. This is a classic opposites attract school story. Sakurada Diamond is a rigid, rule-following prefect who is constantly trying to discipline Konahida for her short skirt and rebellious attitude. However, they're both actually pretty socially awkward, and their constant bickering over school rules slowly turns into a genuine interest in one another. It's a very simple, character-focused romance about two people who don't quite know how to handle their feelings.
And number 6 is Haibara's Teenage New Game Plus. This is a time-leap romance about Natsuki Haibara, a college student who deeply regrets his lonely high school years. He ends up 7 years in the past, right before his first day of high school, and decides to use his second chance to actually live a rainbow-colored youth. He tries to avoid his old mistakes, make a solid group of friends, and finally win over the girl he's always liked. It's a mix of self-improvement and second-chance romance.
Number 5 is Kill Blue. The premise sounds a bit wild, but it's more of a character-driven comedy than anything else. It follows Juzo Ogami, a 39-year-old professional hitman who ends up back in his 13-year-old body after a lab accident. He's forced to go back to middle school to blend in, which is where he meets Norin Mitsuoka. She's a girl who's tired of being pursued by guys at school, so she ends up using Juzo as a fake boyfriend to get some peace.
The interesting part here isn't just the action, it's the dynamic between a guy with decades of life experience trying to navigate the social minefield of a modern middle school. It's awkward, it's funny, and the way their relationship develops while Juzo tries to keep his Hitman past a secret is actually pretty engaging. At number 4, we have Marriagetoxin. This one is definitely the most action-heavy on the list. The lead, Gero, is a specialist in poisons from a legendary assassin clan. He's a beast in combat, but socially, he's a total wreck. He's under pressure from his family to find a wife, where they're gonna force his sister into a political marriage she doesn't want. Out of desperation, he saves a professional marriage swindler named Mei Kinosaki and basically hires them to be his dating coach. Most of the dates in this show end up turning into high-stakes missions where they're fighting off other assassins. It's a weird mix, but Gero's genuine effort to learn how to be a normal person and find a real connection makes it stand out. It's high energy, but the heart of the story is really about Gero trying to figure out what a healthy relationship actually looks like.
Number 3 is Rich Girl Caretaker. This is a more classic domestic romance. It starts with Itsuki Tomonari saving a girl named Hinako Konohana from a kidnapping. Hinako is the daughter of a massive wealthy conglomerate, and at school she's the perfect lady, elegant, smart, and distant. Because of the incident, Itsuki gets hired to be her secret caretaker. The hook is that Hinako's public persona is a complete act. In private, she's incredibly lazy and can barely take care of herself. Most of the show takes place in their private living space, focusing on the quiet, everyday moments between them as they get closer. It's a very chill, low-stakes watch that focuses more on their chemistry than any grand plot.
Coming in at number 2 is The Ramparts of Ice. If you prefer romance that feels realistic and a bit more emotional, this is the one to watch. It's about a girl named Koyuki who is socially isolated, not because she's mean, but because she's built up this ice wall to protect herself from getting hurt. She meets a guy named Minato, who is her polar opposite. He's outgoing and persistent, and he slowly starts to chip away at that barrier she's built. It's a very slow-burn story that handles themes like social anxiety and vulnerability with a lot of respect. The animation is being handled by a solid team, and it looks like it's going to be one of those shows that really sticks with you because of how grounded the characters feel. Finally, at number 1, we have Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You. This is probably the most unique romance of the year because it's about adults, not high schoolers. Sasaki is a tired office worker who's just burnt out on life. His only comfort is a cheerful cashier named Yamada at his local store. One night, he finds a delinquent-looking girl named Tayama smoking behind the shop. They start meeting there regularly to talk and de-stress. The catch is that Tayama is actually Yamada in her casual clothes, but Sasaki doesn't realize it. It's a mature, quiet, and incredibly well-written story about two people finding a genuine connection in their off-duty hours. It's not about high school drama or grand gestures. It's just about two adults being there for each other. So that's the massive lineup for 2026. If you found this breakdown helpful, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to do more of these long-form videos, so if you have any suggestions for other genres or specific themes you want me to cover next, please comment below so that I know what my subscribers want. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.